The White House. However, Fox News. The NTSB remains at the scene of the U.S. plane crash. The death toll now stands at 13. Officials say no further possible victims are expected to be found alive. I'm CJ Papa. This is Fox News.
Yep.
Embrace your goodness. Stop that, Miss Billy.
And your first name?
Felicia.
Felicia Tinker?
Mhm.
Okay.
Did you get my email?
I got your email. I was expecting another one.
I sent it.
When did you? Yesterday? Sometimes I sometimes I get. I mean, yesterday was a real crazy day because we had the uh, Central Alabama Fair last night. That threw everything off. Yep.
Thank you.
Where are you, my friends? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had $1,000 cash giveaway, and somebody won $1,000.
WHBB.
No, WDXX 3350.
Viewpoint, a presentation of the News and Public Affairs Department of AM 1490 WHBB. We welcome your input on the issues of the day. You can contact us on the Viewpoint line. By
First name again, Felicia. Okay, let me write it down. I'm sorry. Thank you.
And now, here's today's Viewpoint.
And good morning and welcome into the Friday morning Viewpoint. For this Friday morning, November 7th, 2025, I'm your host, Randy Williams, and boy, we've got the Selma City Schools in the house this morning. we have the chairman, the new chairman of the Selma City School Board. We've got the superintendent, and we also have a principal, Miss Felicia Tinker of Meadowview. Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Good morning, Randy. How are you?
Good, good. I saw Miss Curtis where you were sworn in. I didn't make the swearing in ceremony to the school board, but yeah, but I make everything else.
Yeah.
I'm there when nobody else is there, so I figured everybody else would have been there. So wouldn't.
And it was live stream. So.
Yeah, and yeah. So how did it go? I mean, how does it feel now to be superintendent? I'm sorry, chairman. Look, I get them all confused. Y'all have to forgive me.
Randy, it went really well. I am ready to serve, excited about what God is doing in this season, and just open ears listening to his vision and what he wants us to do, the next steps, and following, working alongside our superintendent as he operate the day-to-day business and we take care of the policy. We are going to make a difference in Selma City Schools. So excited.
Mm-hmm. Now I don't want you to get emotional, but I can't. Anytime I look at you, I always think about your grandmother, the late Big Mama Alice West, and I know she would be proud of you. And and see, this is what all politics is local. For me, the Voting Rights Act and being able to participate in the political process for a local community means that you can get people who are from here, who have gone on to get the kind of credentials that you have. And now you can put back into the community and you have a different perspective because you're from here and you went through the ranks. And that has a important meaning, but also, we also are blessed with the superintendent,
Absolutely,
who also has credentials. And sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. And you know what I mean? And so a fresh pair of eyes sometimes is invaluable, and what I get from Dr. Scott is that you care. And I really think that's where it should start. Not what not what your academic, what school you went to. Do you care about the children and the families and the community? And obviously you do. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Now, and there's someone new. This is my first time meeting, the first time I've met the principal over at Meadowview. Mrs. Felicia Tinker. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine. What's happening? How long have you been over at Meadowview?
Well, I actually started at Meadowview 23 years ago as a
Come
first grade
on.
teacher. I'm
Oh,
born and
my.
raised, and I'm from Selma.
Oh,
Went to
yeah.
Selma City Schools, graduated from Selma High School.
What?
So I've been here my whole life as well.
What do you know? Do you have children?
I have children. They went to Selma City Schools. Yes.
What? Okay. All right. Well, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Grandchildren too?
Mhm.
Now, you don't look like you. You look like you just graduated. You know, all y'all look good. I don't know. I gotta see what y'all are doing. So,
Going on, baby.
Yeah.
Going on, baby.
yeah, I guess that energy with all the young people helps, huh?
Yes.
So let's start, I guess, with the our superintendent and find out where we're at and what do you want to talk to us about this morning?
But a couple of things I want to talk about. Just want to remind everyone that we do have a community meeting scheduled December the 1st. And as always, I want to be transparent and keep the lines of communication open. So at that meeting, we'll be talking about, of course, school discovery, the newly approved configuration for the school grades 5 and 6, and then what that timeline will look like. But also along with that, talking about because we're about to open up a new school, what impact would that have on the elementary schools? And just talking about that and what that process will be over these next few months. So I do invite everyone to come out to that meeting on December 1st. It'll be at Payne Elementary. So just touching base and following up and following through to kind of be transparent with communication on where we are.
That's good. That's a good looking school. It really looks good. How long is it going to be, you think, before they finish?
Well, you know, they always give us a projected completion date.
Right.
When I first came in April, it was going to be June or July, and now we're in November. So we anticipate a completion date by January.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Now, this ought to be something new for the new chairman, for president of the school board. So where are you in relationship to all of these new developments? And you're new.
Well, school discovery is very dear to my heart.
Mm.
So not new to me.
Right.
You know, I was in Selma City Schools for almost 20 years, and my first principal position was actually at School of Discovery.
Mm.
Now, my window at Selma Housing Authority happens to be right there next to School of Discovery.
Wow.
So, Randy, I am excited about the new building and new opportunities for our scholars. New building,
Right.
you know, with the arts, and it's amazing.
I would imagine equipment is going to go along with that as
Yes.
well. You know, state of the art, and you'll be up to date and all of that. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I love the fact that they kept the Pickett Auditorium.
We got
You know.
new all the way around.
It's
Newness
just
is
new everything,
good.
huh? Well, hopefully that will translate into people being excited, the students being excited and motivated about what they're doing. So now this, I understand there are going to be some zoning changes that may happen.
Well, we're going to have conversations about this current zone practice and policy to see if there's a need for change. That may not be, but the biggest impact that we're seeing, it does impact our enrollment at our elementary schools particularly.
When you say zoning, what do you mean?
So that we're talking about where our boys and girls go to school as opposed to where they live. Are they going to a school that's in their neighborhood, or are they opting to go to another school that's not in their neighborhood? So there is a zoning policy in place. Of course, you attend the school zone where you live. But a few years ago, once the district started right sizing and then closing some schools, then the schools that were closed had the option to choose what school they want to go to. So that was a few years ago. And then over time, you know how things happen.
Things change,
changes.
right?
So what was originally meant to impact a certain group now has kind of opened up to everybody, which is not a bad thing, but it does cause some challenges at some of our schools. Some of our schools are more crowded than others, and so just looking at how to balance that out. Not saying we're going to change anything, but have the conversation, where are we now, versus looking at if we were in a zoning type situation, what would that mean for our schools in terms of their enrollment? So just having the conversations.
So I would imagine then that means that you have staffing considerations in
Yes.
terms of how you move that
Yes.
around.
And this is the ideal time to talk about that with the School of Discovery opening up next year and also impacting our 5th and 6th grade. right now elementary schools are K through 6. And so once we pull our 5th and 6th grade from the elementary schools, that does open up some room, but also opens up the conversation about whether or not we need to revisit the zoning practice that's in place versus the zoning policy that's in
Now,
place.
even if the School of Discovery is ready January 1, does that mean that January 1 is when that would start, or the next September?
It will start in August. Our occupancy is going to be August of 2026. So once the building is complete and they hand us over the keys, then we have to talk about organization, staffing, traffic flows, transportation, all those things that take place from January through April. So by May the 1st, we have a solid plan in place. Everybody knows what the plan is and what we're going to do, and everything's in order.
Now, how does Meadowview Christian figure into all of this? Do you have any concerns, Ms. Tinker?
No, and like Miss Curtis said, she was the principal at SOD. I was the principal. That was my first job as the principal at SOD. I was there for a year, and then that's when it was decided that we're going to put the elementary students back the 6th graders back in the elementary school setting. So I was there, but I think we'll be fine. I think it's going to work out. I mean, when I was at SOD last, the children enjoyed changing classes, doing the arts that we did have when we were at SOD. So I think it's going to be a great move.
So you've seen the transition, but the opposite way.
Yes.
From 6th grade to 5th grade.
Yeah. So I've seen it from the 6th graders being at SOD and then having to go back to the elementary school.
Okay. Yes. All right. Now, strategies for fostering relationships with the new board. Ms. Curtis, have you been given that any thought in terms of what you want to do and how you're going to do that?
We, I was just sharing with them that I started Thrive Time conversations. Well, it started on a campaign trail, but it's not going to end. In my new role, sworn in as school board president, I had Thrive Time conversations on yesterday. So hopefully, outside of people knowing you personally, that will help build some relationships, some trust, some transparency, and also shifting our culture. We have to understand that communication is important. Talk to one another, build those relationships versus going behind the keyboard to Facebook about things, because we are elected officials, and as elected officials, we're listening. Our ears are listening. We're ready to hear from our community. So talk to your board members. Understand the role of the board, though. We don't get involved in day-to-day operations. That is the job of our superintendent, and we plan to allow our superintendent to do his job. That's why we brought him here. We trust him to run day-to-day operations, and we're going to stay in our lane as board members. But again, as board members, we're elected officials, so we want our constituents, we want the community to talk with us versus going to Facebook. We got to shift the culture, and that comes with building relationships, and know that it's safe with us. We're going to remain confidential and follow the guidelines and be in order, decent and in order.
Has this federal shutdown affected anything within the school system so far?
So far, it has not impacted what we do outside of impacting our families, our community. We know that's an impact, so we're trying to do what we can to pass information along to them, making sure our boys and girls do have, when they come to us, a solid breakfast and lunch with them. But we're just trying to make sure that we provide our parents the support and the information they need to help in terms of what they may have.
I think the last time you were here, you were saying you were looking at how you might be able to give students enough food to last them over the weekend.
So currently, when our students come to school, they get to choose, of course, their meals, and ideally they can choose at least 3 out of 5 items. We encourage them to choose all 5. To have, we can't technically send food home per se, but we can make available to them, and then they can take and do what they want to. But just making sure our parents know, please send our boys and girls to school so they can get educated, but also get
and get and eat at the same time. How's the attendance going? The actual attendance versus your goals.
So we're encouraged by what we see so far this year. You know, we talked about the funding being the first 20 days after Labor Day. We want our boys and girls to continue to come to school, but the main thing we have to do is make sure our parents understand we need our children at school each and every day and all day. We know about appointments come up, and we know that we know kids get sick. We don't want anyone sick at school, but we need them at school each and every day and all day and on time.
Plus, you got a nurse at the school, huh?
We do. All of our
You
schools
know,
have nurses.
you come out better at school than you do at home.
So we just want to, build those relationships. And as Ms. Curtis said, communication, relationships is key. And so we're just trying to bridge some of those gaps and make sure our families know that we're all in this together and we can't do it by ourselves. So all of us have to work together to meet the needs of our students.
Now you've got a town hall meeting coming up. Another one. When is it going to be?
It's going to be December 1st at Payne Elementary at 5 p.m.
Okay. And Meadowview Christian, talk to us. I'm sorry, Meadowview Christian. I told y'all, I'm getting all these names.
Yes, okay. And I was going to say, along with what the superintendent, Dr. Scott, is saying, as far as attendance, we build a culture and a climate where the kids want to come to school. So we want them to come. Like, I even had a parent call me because she's like, can you please tell my daughter it's okay for her to go to the doctor's appointment, because we have a competition every month. So whichever grade level has the highest attendance for that month, we do a celebration. So that's a big deal. So like this month, third grade month, so we'll do a celebration on November the 17th.
What do they get?
They get to dress out a uniform. And they get to choose, but that's the big thing now. So they get to dress out a uniform, and they have a moving popcorn and juice. And they're just excited about this. And they want to win. So we just make it competitive. So, but we want them to come to school.
So Meadowview Elementary, or what grades?
It's pre-K through 6th grade.
Boy, that's a lot of grades, isn't it? So what does the typical student go through in terms of developmental processes from pre-K all the way up to the 6th grade? They go through a lot of changes, don't they?
They really do. And they do. And they're learning. Like my pre-K students, they can identify letters and sounds. So it's not, they learn mostly in pre-K how to kind of socialize and get along, but they're still learning skills. And in 1st grade, I had last year some 1st graders that were reading. So, that's what our pride and joy is, making sure that they're learning.
So what about parent relationships? Your PTO or PTA, how's that going?
Parents are very active. Anytime we have an event, it is we're busting out the seams we're just growing. And so if we have, like, we had Grandparents Day, we had over 300 grandparents there. So we have to be strategic in planning.
Wow.
So and we have to limit, but they're gonna come and they're gonna support anything that we do at the school.
Extracurricular activities, is that complicated for elementary?
No, it's not. It's not complicated. We do have cheer. Our cheerleaders, we have about 35, and they cheered in
35 cheerleaders?
Yes.
Gosh.
And they cheered like the Selma High homecoming parade. They'll cheer at the Selma High basketball game on December the 4th, the Christmas parade. So that's something that gets the parents out too, because we use those cheerleaders to do our introduction. So yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Well,
yes, we have a lot of students, and we have speech and debate. That's for our older kids.
You have speech and debate? About time that's come around. Golly, I remember we used to have it at Selma High years ago, but then it stopped, it looked like, and so that's good. That people need to understand how to debate, how to have how to agree to disagree, and so now that will help transform the community, and
teaching you conflict resolution.
Conflict. That's what I'm saying. Conflict resolution is what. So you don't have to, get the fist fighting. You know what I mean? I like the series JAG because they have to switch roles. One day they're the prosecutor, the next day they're defense, and so you have to be able to argue both sides. And I think that's a healthy attitude. You know what I mean? Don't get stuck in one. A clear lens. I tell you, it gets awfully crazy. So now that you are the president of the school board, how do you feel? Has it sunk in yet? And
It has.
Yeah.
Actually, not only am I, president, I'm also a parent. I have my fourth child, my baby, our son. He's a 10th grader at Selma High School. And I just wanted, as a parent, to encourage parents as far as attendance. That's one of our indicators for our school report card, for, our grade that we receive. Schedule those appointments on those asynchronous days, those days where the children are out of school. Get the school calendar. It's online. The schools give it out at the beginning of the year. If you need another one, they'll give you a copy, because we want our parents to be, as parents, it's our responsibility to be informed, for our children. And one of those ways to be informed is get the school calendar, get the you know what's going on. Those days our scholars are out of school. Get them appointments scheduled on those days so they're in school. I used to, as a principal, I stood at, if they had to check out, why are you checking my baby out? We need them here to learn. So it's important that they are at school and that they are on time, as Dr. Scott said, and Ms. Tinker, and that they stay, throughout the day. We understand things happen. And that they're sick, but
right, I got you. What about your scheduling, though? I mean, because your other position at the housing authority is demanding too, isn't it?
It is, and I work with some of the same families, fortunately. So it all works out. It all works out.
It sounds like it's going full circle.
It is.
It's
full circle.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Scott.
Yes, sir.
So now, do you have any particular concerns right now as we're getting ready to head into the holidays, and so the focus of the students and the teachers, I would imagine, kind of changes during the holiday season?
It does. We're in November, so we've been in school now for a few months. And, when we start school in the fall, we have that energy. Everybody's excited.
Right.
And then once we kind of get into it and things start rolling, sometimes we kind of lose some of that energy along the way. So this is a great time to just remind everybody what we're here for and why we're here as we move into the holiday season. And just keeping things, keeping the main thing. Ms. Curtis talked about the report card grade. So very soon, these next few days, as a matter of fact, November 13th, the state will release the official report cards for the school year. And so we're going to be sharing that information with our board members.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yes, so
just for what you've done so far this year?
November 13th would be the release for the 24-25.
Oh, from last year.
Yes,
Okay. So what do they look at? Scores from different?
They look at different things. They look at achievement based on ACAP or the ACT at the high school. They look at growth that's taking place from one year to the next on the assessments. They look at chronic absenteeism. What does that look like in terms of our boys and girls coming to school? They look at, from a system level or high school level, graduation rate, and then our college and career readiness rate. So there's several things they look at to determine what that overall grade is, and we earn so many points for each of those categories. So I'll be sharing that information with the public once it's released, and then of course with our board members to make sure they know where we are. Then what's our plan? There's always room for improvement. So what's our plan to improve at the district level? Then each school will also make presentations to the board about their improvement plan as well.
What about that new rule for the third? You have to be about third grade reading level. I've forgotten what it's called.
Alabama Literacy Act, yes. So that's still very much in place. And the assessment is our ACAP assessment. So there's a reading component or a sub-test that we gauge that by, and they have to make a certain cut score. If they don't make a certain cut score, there are other things that we look at to support that child to give them an opportunity to be promoted. So the main thing about that process is to offer multiple opportunities or pathways to promotion. So it's not really a retention type tool per se, is how can we still look at other avenues to still make sure our boys and girls are doing well, but then to also promote them. So there's several caveats to that act. Right.
Let me, we're going to take this break. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Our guest this morning, we have the school superintendent, Dr. David Scott. We have Ms. Cicely Curtis, who's the school board president. And I say chairman sometime. Sometimes I call her the superintendent too. I hope no one is offended. And Ms. Felicia Tinker, she is the principal at Meadowview Elementary, not Meadowview Christian. And we'll be back with more after these messages. Were you trying to close the door, Cynthia? Or was the door closing?
No, I didn't close it all the way.
No.
No,
You can close it if you want to. I mean, I can close and I'll open it for you. We still haven't fixed that knob.
oh, it's okay.
So,
I just, is that like Reynolds?
huh?
Is this one like Reynolds?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, do you? Wow. Now that's been some time ago. Wow.
Yeah, he was there when I was in college.
Oh, really?
Well, we knew of him.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Well, actually, I worked for Mike at Channel 8 for about 6 months. I was a switcher when Channel 8 was here in Selma. I mean, you talk about antiquated equipment. For TV, that is a nightmare.
See, I heard of him like in Montgomery, you know.
Yeah, because he was the news director of it. Well, I think he managed the newscast. You know, the producer for the 6 o'clock news.
Great selection of makes and models and price ranges for you to come by and take a look at. All service and ready to go. We can do the financing for you, with all the major banks and credit unions, and of course GM Finance. We can handle it all. As I say all the time, we're a one-stop shop. Reliable Chevrolet and GMC, 14 Lawrence Street, downtown.
Okay.
So my phone number 872-2337, or check us out on our website at reliablegmc.com.
1490 WHBB. Good morning, and well, I guess before you know it, the school year will be over, huh? Well, this part of the school year, because what you've got after Thanksgiving, you have a week out for Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving, how many weeks before Christmas?
We come back, I think we're in about 3 weeks or so before the
Wow.
break.
Wow. Well, so and then you got the New Year's and it starts all over again on testing. What happens on the elementary level?
And I wanted to kind of piggyback on what Dr. Scott said about the ACAP, because we already had our 3rd grade parent meeting, because we want our parents to be informed about the ACAP so they can know what their children, the questions they have to ask and, the timing on the test. So we had a meeting and they kind of the teachers went through with the parents and the parents had to answer the questions, and they were like, oh, my 3rd grade had to do this. And we're like, yes.
Wow.
So when we're saying they need to study, when we're sending things home, we really need that support, because the Literacy Act, they have to make a cut score of 444, and there are other ways that they can, they get another chance and other things as well. But we wanted them to be aware of this is the expectation.
Do you have any tutoring?
Yes, we do after school tutoring.
You have after school tutoring.
We'll start Monday with our 3rd grade after school tutoring, specifically for those 3rd graders to target to help them with the literacy to pass the test.
We may have a question or two for you guys coming through on the phone line. Let's see, Viewpoint, you're on the air.
You for your leadership and for the Selma natives who returned home. And I think I was having returned home because I know so many people just like you are so many people from this area. And it's just great to see you people making a contribution that we want you to continue to do and make our community better. I had so many. Oh, I wanted to congratulate you on the handbook too that you mentioned. I love it because I like to use it all year. Things when you go through it, you think what are important to you, but it's still a reference all year about the activities that are going on, and it was a terrific job. I just like everything you all are doing, and I just wanted to congratulate you along the way because I've seen the hard work, and I know what it has taken for us to pull our community to the standards that we want to achieve all of our children. Cicely, thank you for being so inclusive. I know I'm related, all of us are intertwined in this community. But thank you, and I mean it from my heart. So you all, I just wanted to let you know we're still in the corner because we reared you children in this community, and we're proud of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So Dr. Scott, what can people do, the community, even if there are people who don't have a child in the school system, or what can the community do to help support what you guys are trying to accomplish?
But I think there's several things they can do. They can be present at different events that we have going on in our schools, not just athletic events. We want them there as well. But in the programs that we have coming up, our schools will have different types of holiday programs in November and December. Just being visible, in our schools, reaching out to just calling a principal and say thank you for the work that you're doing, or reaching out to a teacher or a staff member and say thank you for the work that you're doing. That goes a long way. So just words of encouragement, and always keeping us in their thoughts and their prayers, for the work that we do each and every day that we're committed to.
Now you talked about the holidays. Are there choirs, or do we have a choir now in the neighborhood schools?
Our high school has a choir, and some of our other schools have a choir.
You've got a choir too. The Middleview has.
Well, we've partnered with Alabama State, and we have a program called Music Education on
Wheels,
and so they come down twice a week, and they're getting a performance together for
not
December.
the Tribe of Judah, please. That's as awesome as they are. My goodness.
So they come down twice a week, and so they're working on a program for our students. But I did tell my third grade teacher, I said, get ready, we need our choir.
Wow.
So we're wanting to start that up in this new school year.
And I would imagine when the School of Discovery kicks in, that's going to take things to another level.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad to hear that. And so so make sure you let us know what's going on with those programs. And so we've got Christmas coming up, and then I guess you have special programming throughout the year.
Yes. We do. A lot of our schools have different events that they have going on based on the timing of the year. And they do a great job of making sure our boys and girls are exposed to different types of experiences, but also making sure our parents understand too that we still need their support to come and support when we have those programs. They come in and take the pictures, and that's great. But outside of that, we still need them showing up for the conferences and for the other things as well. So just being visible and comfortable in coming out to our schools is what we want, how we want our parents to feel, because they remember how you made them feel when they come into the building.
I see where Montevallo is heavily involved in the 250th anniversary for the United States. Has that translated or trickled down to the school systems yet, or do you know?
We have certain programs or certain things that the State Department will communicate with us about participation. And so when things come down, of course, we participate in those things at the state level. And then, of course, with our curriculum, we have several things in the curriculum that takes place. And so our teachers do a good job of celebrating those things throughout the school.
Well, really, the teacher of the year was a civics teacher, huh?
Yes, Ms.
I interviewed her. I've got to put. I don't know if I haven't put the interview up yet. I'm running behind with the selmapostherald.com on some things, but she was very articulate, and she's concerned and cares about the students as well. We may have another question for you. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
How you doing? How y'all doing?
Doing fine. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. I say hello to everybody. I want to say hello to Miss Ticker. Is it Ticker?
Tinker.
It's Tinker.
Everything you do for the dialysis center. I mean, okay, I want you to dialysis center.
Yes,
Do
sir.
it up for the thank you. That's what I tell them. Thank you. I know everything. Appreciate it. I said thank you for everybody. Go out there.
Okay. Thank you. And my mom was a dialysis patient and she passed in 2022. So every month I take little treat bags to the dialysis center for the patients, or I'll take blankets, so that's just in memory of my mom. But thank you. I just do it quietly, but I've been doing it since 2022, but he's exposed me. But yes, I'm glad you all like the bags. They'll be coming again this month.
Have a good day. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you so much. All right, 875-1490 and 1492 are the numbers to call if you have comments or questions. And if you're watching on YouTube, I haven't quite mastered the my camera with 3 people. I'm gonna have to get a wider angle. I forgot 3 people were coming today. No, everybody's good. Everybody's fine. Let me see if there's anything else here that we certainly want to make sure that we get into. Now, how important, Dr. Scott, is attendance at these athletic events? Because I would imagine they're also fundraisers.
But they are fundraisers, and a lot of our teams rely on the people to come and, of course, purchase tickets. But aside from all that, just having the support of seeing faces in the stands and at the events goes a long way as well for our students. Make sure that they know we support them. So just being visible and being supportive, that goes a long way.
Because there are, I guess, the state really doesn't provide financial support anymore for sports activities.
A lot of our sports rely on parents, community support donations, of course, and ticket sales and things like that. So it's very important to support their programs and to keep their programs going with expenses that come up, travel, equipment, different things like that.
The basketball is getting ready to start.
Yes.
And so that's usually a big time for the track too this year. Huh? Well, we got a new track now, huh? Yeah. So I'm looking forward to all of that. Okay.
Randy, can I put a plug in right there?
Yes, ma'am.
Athletics, Selma High Alumni Association. We want to give a shout out to those ladies for donating $24,000 to the athletics department at Selma High School at the swearing in. When did we get sworn in? Was it Tuesday? Tuesday. So a check was presented to Selma High School on Tuesday, and that's as a result of Saints Fest.
That'll buy a lot of hamburgers, huh?
Equipment,
whatever they need. That'll go a long way.
Yes. So let me just Martina West, Tim Coleman, Lisa James, Ebony Thomas, Tanisha Purifoy, Kelsey Pearl, myself. Those are the board members. Kelsey's not a board member, but those that are now
active, huh?
Yes, but Kelsey definitely works with us and help with whatever we need. So we're recruiting, and if you want to become a board member, because Grandma is getting tired, so I'll be there. But we do need additional hands on deck because it's growing. And this year, each year we've given. 1 year we gave 10,000. Last year we gave 15,000, and this year 24,000. So that's right at $50,000.
That's excellent. Well, that's community support.
It is, and that's what we need the community to do.
Right.
And so as a board, that's one thing that maybe one of our focuses: donations to our schools, churches, food pantry where churches give food so that our children can take brown bags home. So. There's some things that as a board we're going to look at trying to help our school system with, because they can't do everything.
Right.
And there's some things that we can do. I also want to put another plug in. President of Selma City Council, Kennard Rendon, president of Selma Housing Authority. I want to pause and thank God for him. For you asked me, how do I balance the both? He allows me to do what I need to do because he knows I'll come in early. I work on the weekends. And I also want to thank Dr. Scott. We know how one another communicates. We both communicate well. And so we're able to work things out while I keep the main thing the main.
Well, it helps you though. You have a financial background. You understand the financial process that you have to go through to not just get money, but to be accountable and to keep things in check. and I'm sure that's got to be a time-consuming process,
Yes.
you know. And so you got to be willing to want to do over and beyond
Right.
what
And
your
it
job
helps to have
description
been in
is.
federal programs, you know, prior to this.
Right.
Because when the finances come to me, I'm aware of the different fund source and what we're doing, you know. So
Right.
yes,
So,
definitely helps.
so Dr. Scott, this is something I've been wondering about. What in the world are we going to do if Selma starts to grow again? How do you handle the growth of students? Are we prepared for that?
Well, we are, because as we talk about school of discovery and right sizing, we know we have our current buildings have certain capacities. And so as I shared before at a previous town hall meeting, I do again, look at our current schools and their capacity. Some schools are already at capacity and some have a little more wiggle room. So when we open up SOD School of Discovery, that will again open up.
Will that alleviate some of the overcrowding in any of the schools?
It will, and then when we open School of Discovery, they will still have room to grow. The Hudson, RB Hudson STEAM Academy has room to grow. Selma High has room to grow. And so we anticipate and hope for that growth that you speak about, and we'll be prepared because we do have the room to receive them. The shift is going to come in looking at our current buildings and the current capacity. For example, with our elementary schools, once we do make that transition with our 5th and 6th grade, that's why zoning is so important, to at least have the conversation to see our smallest elementary schools, what would happen if we were operating in a zoning type atmosphere. How many boys and girls would attend that school normally through zoning, but chose to go somewhere else? And the main thing we want to make sure our parents know, no matter what school that child attends in Selma City schools, they're going to get a quality, top-notch education.
What do you have a goal for the number of students per classroom? Is there a threshold that you would cross over that where you stop becoming effective with individual learning, or do you have a
class size is important, and so we have divisors that the state uses to determine our funding, and so those numbers that they give are typically, ideal, but we know at the same time it's very rare that we will hit those numbers exactly right. So of course, the smaller class size, the more impactful we can have in terms of instruction. So some of our classes are large, and we know that, and so we work with our principals to try to support that in terms of maybe shifting staff within the school, or maybe even to the point where we have to add a teacher or an instructional aide to kind of help alleviate some of that. And that shift can happen early on in the school year, but then also throughout the school year as students come in or leave, those things happen as well. So in terms of an ideal number, there's no ideal number per se. We just know, of course, research tells us that the smaller the class size, the more impactful we can be.
Well, and I guess what puzzles me is schools that started in the basement of a church, or if you go to Okahaba has they still have a one-room classroom that still stands, and the teacher taught K through 12 in one room. How do you do that? That'd have to be a nightmare, wouldn't it?
Wow.
But look at what they produced, though. They produced a generation that got all this stuff that we're still standing on their shoulders, and they learned all of that in a one-room building. That must be, huh? So we don't have any excuses to fail. We got everything. We got many computers in our hands. So I goodness gracious me. Anything else that you want to make sure that while you have people in our audience, you said the 1st of December is when that town hall meeting is?
Our community meeting is going to be December the 1st at 5 o'clock at Payne Elementary.
Okay, when are you scheduled to come back, Ms. Millich?
It's the first Friday.
And I don't have my calendar in front of me.
First Friday, so that will be December. That's the 5th.
Oh, that's December 5th is the first Friday. Okay, I was just trying to get an idea of what it was like in terms of proximity to the 1st. So we want to make sure people turn out. So what is the format like? What do you do? Do you have question and answer?
So right, it'll be just like the first one. I'll be presenting information, kind of bringing everybody up to speed on where we are as a district. I'll be talking about, of course, our strategic plan and kind of where we are in that process. I'll be sharing our report card data for the system and for our schools, talking about the discovery and that timeline, right size and what that may look like, and there'll be an opportunity for feedback through a QR code that they can scan. Then also there'll be a chance for them to ask questions as well.
I think I remember a school board Chestnut, a school board member, Mrs. Chestnut, saying, I think there was a young lady that was at this meeting we had, and she had a perfect score, 100 in math, in the state. She was like, she was really ACAP, standardized testing, yeah. So that means somebody's doing something right, huh?
Yes, we have a lot of people doing things right.
Yeah, okay.
That's right, Team Selma.
Yeah, Team Selma. Okay, well, Ms. Tinker, it's been a pleasure meeting you. Anything that you'd like for the audience to know about Meadowview?
I just would like them to know that they are welcome to come by to volunteer. Our theme for this year is one school, one family, one bright future. So please come out in any way to help volunteer, read a book, just your presence helps the students. I do have a good parental support, but I want the community to come out more and help.
Good. Mr. Superintendent, there's a 90-day contest, and you're going to announce which school had the highest attendance?
Yes, so as a way to encourage attendance, we believe in friendly competition. And so that's one of the things that we do to encourage attendance at our schools.
And what happens to the school that wins? They get a pizza party?
They get a day at the movies.
A day at the movies, oh.
Yes, they get a day. So we're trying to find ways again to encourage attendance in any way we can. And so a lot of times we have to ask our students what do they like that's going to motivate them to come. But I also want our parents to know that, we need their help to get them to school. Yeah, because I tell you that, it was disturbing to hear the state superintendent say that there were 5,000 students across the state that were not attending, 2,500 of which they don't even know where they are. They don't have they're under the radar screen. They don't know who those 25 students are. And so that's a little concern. And that means that you've got 2,500 idle minds. Yeah. And an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And I would hate to see that 2,500 in that school to prison pipeline. It just makes it easier for them. Ms. Curtis, and so now, what do you need from the community as the president of the school board or chairman of the school board? Is it president or chairman?
Either.
Just the same thing, right?
It's the same thing. Just serve it. We're here to serve. But I would say be patient with us. We are a new board, so we are learning, but we are willing vessels. Also, be willing when your phone rings to come and help. Please answer the call because it does take a village, and we need the community to help with some of the problems that we know are plaguing our community. We see a lot of our young Black boys are arrested, murdering one another. It's a problem, and we can't ignore the problems that we have. So, if we call and say, hey, we're mentoring group, some committees to try to address some of the needs in our community, not just because what's in our community comes in our schools. And so we have to address those issues. Be a willing vessel, and don't be afraid of our children. They're not dangerous. They are human beings. They need
you to listen to them too. Huh? Well, one of the more positive things I've seen within this last week or so is the highway construction that's taking place on Highway 80. I noticed that a substantial number of the heavy equipment operators were Black men, young Black men. And so because you can't just get up and operate heavy equipment. Right. You got to have training and be licensed and mature, because that's a pretty dangerous piece of equipment. And they all seem to be very responsible, and they were doing their jobs. And so I was glad to see that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
What we want. More of that.
You want more of that.
Yes.
Right. I got you. Absolutely. Yeah. Anything else?
And I wanted to say, Ms. Millage, don't forget Selma Housing Authority has a food truck. So those celebrations, we have a boss that loves to help and serve. So we may be able to feed some burgers or hot dogs, some of that food truck for the winter of the attendance, because it's going to take our community, everybody.
Right.
Businesses get on board with our school system. Athletics, when we have events, come out and support, be present. The bleachers should not be empty. Support our schools, support our babies. That's if we love is what love does.
Right.
And that's love.
Right.
Getting involved. Everyone has a role to play. No one is exempt. No one. I don't care how young or how old you are.
you got something. You can contribute something.
Dr. Scott said, call a teacher or principal, encourage them. Encouragement goes a long way. Call our superintendent, encourage him. You know, so
don't complain. Support.
Support.
Yeah.
And if you have a complaint, come to us.
Right. Not Facebook.
Come to us. We want to hear. If Ms. Cole called in, thank you, Ms. Cole. We appreciate you being a voice in the community and always being so loving and supportive. That's what we need right now. The love and support.
Right. Okay. Well, it's always a pleasure having you guys. And, you know, the Selma City Schools is scheduled the first week, the first Friday of each month. Sometimes we get off schedule. Something can come up, you know, but we want to make sure that at least minimally once a month that we have you guys come in and bring us up to date on what and showing us and telling us how we can help as a community with what you're doing.
Thanks for allowing us that.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and we got to get ready for the news. So let me get ready to take this break. And that's perfect timing. We'll be back with more after these messages. Ooh, all right. You're quite welcome. Yeah, that was good.
Randy, I'm gonna do a better job. I'm gonna make sure you had stuff on Wednesday because I see Thursday does not work. I apologize on that. I'm serious. I apologize. I'm gonna have it on Wednesday. So I'm gonna do better.
Yeah.
So you better come put it in.
I know that's right. I don't have a secretary, see. Yeah. Yep,
So
that's all right.
better, I promise.
That sounds like a winner. Anything you need, just let me know. Yeah, but the earlier the better. That's true.
I will. I'll do better.
Awesome. Thank you again, Randy.
You're quite welcome. Yep. Yeah, I got to come over and see what you guys are doing. I'm gonna have to come over in person. I know the young lady that ran for city council seat is over at Chat Academy. What is her name? Was it
Doramus?
Yeah, because she said that there was some new equipment over at the School of Discovery for media, media
studio
at Hudson. Yeah. So, you know, I said I may be able to help them somewhere.
The best is yet to come in Selma City Schools.
Yeah, right. See,
And we're products of Selma City.
Yes, we are.
Well, that's the other thing. That's right. Yeah. So that's good. Yep. All right.
Thank
see
you
you
so
guys
much.
later.
All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
Thank you, Smelly.
Oh, no. Thank you all for being willing to come.
So we got, all right, Miss Miller.
I figured, you know.
Well, sometimes it goes quick and sometimes it doesn't.
It went quick today.
You know, it just depends on what you got coming up and what's going on. I need to figure out about that.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the superintendent because I think after he sees today, he might say, you know what, let's get you. Because see, last time I held it, but it's better to turn it this way. If you turn it this way, it won't have those black lines on the side.
You know, put your own mini camera. They're not expensive. I'll let them get you.
You see me, Lee?
I know how it is. I know.
But yeah, I'm going to ask today, though. I'm going to ask if we can get that so we can make it work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I would like to. Okay. Well, you have a great weekend and thank you for everything.
You do the same. Okay. Cynthia, have a good weekend.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Hello, everybody. G-Man here. Do you know that Alabama is located in what is known as the stroke belt? Right here in our listening area, 43.4% prevalence of adults who repeatedly suffer from high blood pressure. Other risk factors include high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, and smoking, which can all lead to serious health problems and even death. I was one of those who used to pay very little attention until I had another heart attack and had a really hard time walking due to blockage in my circulatory system. I think the good Lord every day is not positioned for me to ABS. Alabama vascular specialist for Dr. Ralph Williams, Dr. Irwin White Gibbons, and Dr. Richard Tan lead a team of professionals that truly care about their patients and get to the root of their patients' vascular problems. Then provide the care needed to get them on the road to recovery. If it weren't for ABS, I don't know if I would be here talking to you today. 334-801-9952. Check them online at alabamavascularspecialist.com.
1490 WHBB. Selma, let's get ready for Fox News. Up next, it's 9 o'clock. I'll see you on the other side of the news.
Today, it's 4% flight reductions. The FAA ordered more each day to reach a 10% cut, reducing pressure on understaffed air traffic control towers during the government shutdown. Fox's Grady Trimble at Reagan National Airport.
The airlines had to scramble to quickly cancel hundreds of flights all across the country at 40 of the largest airports in the United States after the FAA ordered them to make those cuts for safety. This comes after a rough day for delays, with more than 7,000 of them yesterday. Here's how this FAA plan will work over the next week. Today, tomorrow, and Sunday, the agency is requiring airlines to cut 4% of their schedule. That number will gradually ramp up to 10% by the end of next week. Remember, air traffic controllers are about to miss their second full paycheck since the shutdown started. Low staffing levels, as they call out, is putting pressure on the system.
United CEO says it's putting stress on the economy. United, Southwest, Delta, and American Airlines all calling on Congress to quickly pass the Republican clean funding resolution with another Senate test vote today. Hopes that moderate Democrats will break the resistance, while President Trump says enough of the games.
President Trump now insists the Democrats will terminate the filibuster in the first have what the Democrats want. We should do it now and have the greatest 3 years in history. We still don't know of any meaningful progress in these behind-the-scenes negotiations between Republicans and Democrats to reopen the government. On the contrary, there are various reports that Democrats privately think that it will benefit them the most to drag on a little bit longer.
A federal judge ordering the Trump team to dig benefits. America's listening to Fox.
Hey, this is a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new Look, eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure any disease. Use as directed.
Another U.S. military strike on a narco-terror drug speedboat in the Caribbean. A lethal kinetic strike killed 3 narco-terrorists aboard while on Capitol Hill.
A group of bipartisan senators is trying to prevent President Trump from pursuing his air campaign targeting alleged drug boats in South America. The Senate resolution seeks to force President Trump to get congressional approval for further airstrikes, known as authorization for the use of military force. Quote, to terminate the use of the United States Armed Forces for hostilities within or against Venezuela unless explicitly authorized by a declaration of war. The Secretaries of State and War sought to reassure senators that the Trump team is on solid legal ground and isn't planning imminent land strikes inside Venezuela. The top Democrat on the Intelligence Committee, Senator Marky Warner, says President Biden missed a chance to force Maduro from power back in summer 2024.
Fox's Jillian Turner at the State Department. Another Trump big pharma deal drastically cuts the cost of GLP weight loss drugs.
Popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Zepbound are too pricey for many Americans. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz says.
Now, what are you supposed to do if
The right thing to do for your health is right there, but you can't afford to get it. Most favored nations agreements with Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk will significantly bring down the cost of their GLP-1 drugs, capping copays for Medicare patients and reducing prices for insured and uninsured Americans. Our estimate, based on the company numbers as well, is Americans will lose 135 billion pounds by the midterms. That weight loss, Oz says, will bring down healthcare costs long term. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Security alert and hazmat response in Maryland's Joint Base Andrews Thursday after a woman opened a suspicious package. Several people reported headaches, but officials say today no white powder found at Joint Base Andrews. I'm Therese Crowley. This is Fox News.
Didn't happen.
Your 1490 WHBB weekend weather. A partly sunny day today, upper 70s, a 40% chance of showers this afternoon. Very scattered, and then 40% for tonight until about 3 a.m. Then there's clouds and 61. Tomorrow, a 20% chance of morning showers till noon. Gradual clearing, becoming sunshiny by afternoon with a high in the upper 70s. Another 30% chance of showers after midnight tomorrow night, down to 57 for the low. Sunday, clouds early, 20% chance of showers, then clearing and becoming sunny in the afternoon, 68 for the high, west wind 10 to 15. Sunday night, partly cloudy, colder, 34. Monday, only 48 with sunshine, and all the way down to 25 by Monday night. That's your weather. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to WHBB.
1490 WHBB. Good morning. On this Friday morning, November 7th, 2025. How do you feel? This is the second and final hour of Viewpoint for this Friday. And I am encouraged with what I see happening in the Selma City Schools and Dallas County as well. You know, Southside is poised to be state champions. If they can continue to play consistently and stay focused like they have, then we may have a state champion, hopefully, on our hands. That's a good thing, you know. Athletics is a good publicity tool, you know, but you got to balance the athleticism with the academic and the artistic. That's why I like the STEAM concept. STEM is good, science, technology, engineering, and math, but STEAM brings arts into the mix. You know, there was a time when a liberal arts education from a major university was preferable to a specific profession. And as I understand it, the reason for that was because a liberal arts education and arts education opens a person's mind up and your objective. I thought, again, we touched on it earlier during the first hour with representatives from the school system about the importance of debate. I remember when I took speech and debate at Selma High School, and how I was more into I was more active in theater and the drama club. I was a thespian also. And a thespian means that you have completed so many hours in every area of theater, but having played in each role, a major role or a minor role, and a lighting and sound, and I actually know how to build a set, or used to. I don't know if I can remember any of that makeup and all that, but anyway, that's another story. But in our speech class, we were required to debate each other on different subject matters. And that's really important because that's what I see. That's why I'm probably more sensitized to what I see happening nationally. The intolerance of another opinion or another point of view. People are far too easily threatened by a particular point of view. I'm not even, my thing about the new mayor of New York, fine. If anywhere, if we're going to see an oddity occur in New York, I would be surprised. I would imagine that would be a good place for it to happen. But now that's not the question. Now the question is, now you be careful what you ask for. We talk about the midterms and the next presidential election in terms of on the national scene and how much influence is an avowed and admitted socialists. And even though they don't want that label of communism attached to it because they know it still has a lot of negative connotations. But as I've said before, all you have to do is look at China. China is social communism, a socialist communist country. I don't want to get into a civics lesson. I'm glad to hear Selma High School has a civics teacher. She's teaching civics. So they're learning government. And when you learn all of these different forms of government and you know what can be done and can't be done in a system, that makes a big difference. It's not like social media. You can say whatever you want to say. Just like on this show sometimes, you can say what you want to say, but it doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it so. It doesn't make it a fact because it's been said. And so, so at the end of the day, the proof will be in the pudding. And the question is I'll take one example, for instance. People really can be gullible, but this new guy, and I always forget his name, in New York, but you know who I'm talking, the new mayor of New York. He was running on one of his promises, one of his campaign promises was free transportation. Now let's do the math. You're talking the largest city in the United States. I've forgotten how many millions of people are in New York, right? And I don't know how many buses and trains underground, the subway system are being operated, and how many drivers you've got, how many mechanics you have to maintain it, how many engineers, thousands of employees. Well, where's the money going to come from? Because presently, the transportation system in New York and any other major city, or even medium and small that have them, the lion's share of the money, the finances to run these companies comes from their riders. So where are you going to get all these millions of dollars from to provide free transportation for millions of people in New York City? That's going to be a real big issue. Although this particular person also admittedly has advocated to reduce the police force. So in the city that's in the process of struggling with a high crime rate, you're going to have to pull money from areas, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't come from public safety if it can be done. And probably the thing that is almost laughable to me is to hear people say that they voted in New York on the economy. New York has been expensive for 40 or 50 years. The cost of living in New York is legendary and has steadily been on the rise for the last 40 or 50 years. So now that's what I mean about an ingenuous narrative. Don't try and sell me on the fact that people are just saying it's expensive in New York City. That's crazy. For anybody that's lived there or even visited, the tourists have to spend. You can hardly afford and that's why I don't know how they spent billions of dollars, I understand, on illegal immigrants. How much sense does that make? It's not a matter of for me of being prejudiced or anti-immigrant or anti-immigration. Common sense, what makes sense? And so I fear that we're getting further and further away from that in terms of people in charge on a national level who don't really want to practice common sense. I see where the former Speaker of the House, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi, is retiring. I think the House leader seems to think that this current political environment that we're in and this current federal government shutdown is a factor in why she is deciding not to run again. And I don't blame her. After 40 years, my goodness. Now I'll say this about Congresswoman Pelosi. The first and the last time I saw her in person was at Brown Chapel AME Church. And she was one of the guest speakers. She was very gracious and very respectful to Brown Chapel and to Brown Chapel's history and to Selma's history. And she really, she was a whole nother, she presented herself altogether different from what I have been used to seeing in the media. And you never know what you're going to get there. It depends on what station you watch. And so, but she was very gracious and very respectful of Brown Chapel AME Church and its history. And that spoke volumes to me, regardless of if, and at the time, I don't know if I don't remember if I was Democrat or Republican. May have been when I was going through a transition, but it doesn't matter for me with that. That doesn't mean anything. It does and it doesn't. What party? If I was an active Democratic party member, then I probably would be on the front line against the left and its policies. And when it's all said and done, when these platforms are presented in the South and in the Bible Belt and in the Black Belt, it'll be very interesting to see how, if it can be put, if the local chapters will get on the same page with the national chapters. Now, I was surprised at what Bernie Sanders was able to do when he ran for president. And when he came to Alabama, I went up to Birmingham, and he had thousands of people, not just in the auditorium. The auditorium was an overflow. There were thousands of people in the park across the street from the Boutwell, the Birmingham Convention Center. And it was full, and it was cold. And it was primarily young white adults. That group that was being courted for this last presidential election that crossed over and went Republican. And so, but Bernie Sanders' platform was very similar to what this guy in New York has been promising. And that is, free health care, free education, free transportation, free rent, or at least lowering the cost. That what I would think is going to be almost impossible in New York to lower rent. I don't know how they're going to do that. The only way I can figure it is they're going to have to build some new housing and put people. And even then, that's going to be a real problem. So going back to my point, we'll see if he succeeds. And New York is prosperous, and the poor in New York are treated better, and it becomes safer. If the crime rate, if they don't try and manipulate the numbers and play games with the numbers to be able to qualify one area to another, and remove carjacking and theft and robbery and domestic violence and requalify it, so they can say, oh, well, the crime rate has gone down. They're playing on, but if they don't play on words, and it truly is safer, then yeah, then the Republican Party may have a problem. But if that does not happen, if just the opposite occurs, if doomsday happens as many people fear, when you try to, because socialism to this point in history has never worked. Anyway, I don't even want to get into that discussion. But but who knows? Maybe somebody will crack it one day. Maybe somebody will have a utopia one day, huh? Viewpoint, you're on the air. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing all right. See, the thing about I have a problem with you saying and what you do is two different things. You always say you got a dog in the fight, this, that, and the other, but every time you come around, like I said, you're going to find some fight with Democrats. But the thing about this, just like you talked about that guy all morning. So, we talked about him all morning since you came back. And the thing about it is Democrats swept everywhere. Red states, blue states, moderate Democrats won all across the country by 9, 12, 13 points. Even in deep red.
Well, no, wait a minute. Now, you're saying the Democrats run in areas that were Republican?
Yes.
Where was this? What states that were not already blue? What are you talking about?
I said Mississippi.
No. Which part? What city? Which particular race are you referring to?
Mississippi.
No, where in Mississippi? Who are you talking about?
Mississippi had a supermajority in the Congress. Now they don't anymore because two blue congressmen win in the red district. What I'm trying to tell you is this: the people gave Trump a chance, but up until this point right now, they don't see nothing. Those people that he convinced, the Democrats, the Independents, the young men, the young ladies, and all of those people, they fell back to where they was. They voted for Democrats again because they don't see anything that Trump is doing for them. Now, you ain't gotta take my word for it. You can just do it.
I'll tell you the same thing I just said. We will see.
No, we just saw.
No, we didn't just see. We just saw blue state. They retained their seats. They didn't. They were able to fight off very close elections, and they were able to prevent those blue states from becoming red. New Jersey, New York, hold it. New Jersey, New York, Virginia, already blue states. What are you talking about?
Now, in Virginia, it was a Republican bill. It's still a Republican government now.
Yeah, but that when he was the first Republican governor in years.
Well, it was just, like I said, you just skipped over this.
No. Virginia is a blue state. That's for me to even argue the point with you is for me. I'd be stupid to argue with you about it.
Well, that guy in New Jersey, he ran 4 years ago, and he came within 2 points of being the governor. This year, he lost by 13.
But New Jersey has 800,000 more Democratic registered voters. What are you talking about?
You can't just hear what I said. 4 years ago, he came in within 2 points of being the governor.
Look, you know what? Let me do this. This is the best thing for me to do with you. Let me let you just say what you got to say. I'm not going to comment on it because you're wasting my time to argue with you. But go ahead and make your point.
The thing about it is, man, you just can't admit when you're wrong. When these people are losing by 15 and 13 points, something's wrong, and the Republican Party is not looking at it. Just like Trump said last night, he don't want to hear about no affordability. They didn't solve that. But that's what they was running on, affordability, and that's what they're running for. But Trump is like living in reality, man. Trump don't care nothing about these people out here. They should have been talking about gas prices at $2. Talking about the groceries going down. Talking about this, that, and other.
The last time we talked about eggs was over $4. I paid $1.92 for a dozen of eggs just this week. Now, what about that? What you got to say about that? No, you said eggs would never go down. You said they were going up. Like I said, I'm not going to argue with you. Finish making your point, and I got to take a break.
Something came in office, inflation went back up, prices went back up, and everything is going up. But you can't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Eggs aren't going up. Man, I gotta let you go. I gotta take this break. Thank you for calling. I'll be back with more right after this. Carolyn.
Hello. Thank you for coming last night.
Yeah, we're still on Facebook, so you'll know.
Hello, Facebook.
What you got? All good. I got some tickets.
Yes, I do. Fair admission tickets.
Oh, goodness.
If you need them for Saturday for yourself to go film beauty
Want to give
pageants,
them-
I didn't know what.
Yeah.
Or, George is only here till lunchtime.
Right,
So
okay.
they would have to come in
You get them
pretty
before that.
quickly.
Right, I got you. I got you. All right, I will. I'll do that. Yeah. Thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate that.
For them to go to waste.
I got you. Had fun last night, didn't you?
Yes, and thank you.
Zachary Green,
Yes, Zachary Green won
the $1,000.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Caring for you and about you, all part of the Brown Drug family of locally owned pharmacies.
Before you go into the woods, you got to be dressed right. The co-op store. Thomas Reed.
Yes, sir, George. Come on down to the co-op and check out our vast selection of apparel. We got hunting apparel in all shapes and sizes for men, women, and children. We're carrying Rocky this year. We've got bibs, jackets, shirts, pants, toboggans, gloves, everything you need to keep warm, no matter if you're going into the woods, if you're going out into the field to do some work. Come check us out.
And everybody's welcome at the co-op store.
Congratulations to Peak Insurance, recently voted Best Insurance Agency in the Summertime Journal Reader's Choice Awards. And a big round of applause for Lauren Adams, named Best Customer Service Representative. And for Chase Unsey, voted Best Insurance Agent.
We want to take a moment to say something very important. Thank you. Thank you to our loyal customers who continue to trust us with your insurance needs year after year. Your confidence means everything to us. I'm Owen Peak. At Peak Insurance, we're proud to be the only locally owned independent insurance agency in Dallas County. From helping you choose the right coverage to standing by your side if you ever have a claim. We represent many great insurance companies, but we work for you. We're also honored to be the exclusive representative of Auto Owners Insurance in Dallas County, along with many other top-rated carriers. So once again, from all of us here at Peak Insurance, thank you for your loyalty and thank you for your confidence. Stop by and see us at 1003 Broad Street in Selma. Call today or visit peakinsurance.com. Peak coverage, peak service, Peak Insurance.
1490 WHBB 334-875-1490 and 1492 are the numbers to call if you have comments or questions. I may have to eventually set a limit on 3 calls. Like I said, if I was in a larger market, this is most of the stations that I've been at. They limit the number of calls per month. C-SPAN says you can only call in once a month, but then they've got 200 million people. And when you get that many folks, there's going to always be somebody that's going to try to abuse the privilege. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Randy, you were doing a good job, and then you went off the rails.
I fell off the wagon.
But you were trying to come back from it. It's amazing that we're not going to give Trump the credit. I tell you what Trump is doing. They just blew up another boat bringing drugs into this country, killing Americans. It's 13 and 14 now. They've stopped.
Well, we should be raising all kinds of Sam, because for 40 years we had a so-called war on drugs, and more drugs were coming into the country than ever before. Now the president is really having a war on drugs, and we want to ostracize him, huh?
And they were trying to stop him. It could be somebody innocent. I don't give a rip if it's somebody. If they make a mistake, look at all the ones that didn't, and we lose over 100,000 people in this country a year to fentanyl death. And the border was wide open. He's closing the border. He's trying to get people out of here. Fuel's down. Eggs are down. Inflation is down. The stock market's up.
But they don't want to give him credit for that. They're looking for any excuse not to. Look, in Dothan just this week, they made a fentanyl arrest. They said the guy had enough fentanyl to kill the whole city. There was enough fentanyl to kill all of Dothan.
Look at all the children that have come across that
sex traffic. Look at all the money that went to these cartels, bringing people across, and they had them spend $6,000 to pay them to come across the border. Look at China. Look at all China's our enemy, and we want to fuss about we can't get a cheap product from Walmart from China.
Well, no, that doesn't matter because if it's going to make President Trump look good, let him kill us. Let's commit suicide. If it's going to make President Trump look good.
Well, that's what New York's done. And look, I remember when I hate to say this, I used to hear old people say it. 50 years ago, I was in the Plaza Hotel in the Oak Room, and I paid $18 for a hamburger.
What?
I was 18 years old, and I thought I was somebody. You know, that city, well, it comes back to our schools, our colleges, full of liberals telling that socialism is good, that rich people are bad. We got tax for. If it wasn't for rich people, they wouldn't be building buildings. They wouldn't be building factories. We wouldn't have anybody to work for. So, and we denigrate rich people, but they have risk what they've got to be able to build something. And by then, I don't have a problem with it, but let some rapper make $50 million talking about GD this and all this bad language and stuff, and we think that's great.
I don't know how they get away with it. I don't know how they, when you reward ignorance with financial success, you just complicate the problem.
You know, Democratic Party was the party of slavery in this country. The Republican Party is the one that freed the slaves. The Republican Party is what got the right to vote. I hate to say these black people keep praising the Democratic Party, and they're the party that have kept them back. And I don't know. I don't understand. People don't read the history book anymore. But we've forgotten history, and if we forget history, history will repeat itself. And I'm really worried about how in the world we could vote for socialism, because they taught us in school about communism, socialism, and history.
No, it's not being taught anymore. No, right now we're too busy letting drag queens come in to entertain our little boys in elementary school or libraries.
I don't understand it. If you told me this 20 years ago when I was younger, this is what we were going to be, I would have said, you're high as a kite. You've been smoking too much dope or something. But we're there, and we don't even realize it. And like I told you the other day, churches have got watered down with the teaching of false gospel that we can take and pick and choose what we want to believe about the Bible, and sin's not really sin if we really want to do it. And you know, the Bible doesn't change. Jesus Christ doesn't change. He came and died so that we would have a way to heaven, and because we're all bound for hell without him. So that doesn't change.
Well, there's a scripture that says if the Lord, if it has not been or would not be for the Lord's divine intervention, even the elect would be deceived.
Oh yeah, well, sin came in the world through one man, and redemption came in the world through one man, and without him, without his blood covering us, we will never see. And all these people that think that just because they do right or try to do right or they do this, do that, it is nothing what we do. It's all about what he did for us, and that's true love. And true love is telling somebody they're wrong. True love is talking about the price of eggs, man. You keep spreading the word.
Well, I'll do the best I can. I know that if they have what they call Trump derangement syndrome, if you're just determined and you're just set on trying to figure out any way you can to undermine his presidency, you're only going to have a few more years to do it. What's going to happen after that? Who are they going to be able to blame for their failure then?
Well, would be, hopefully, we'll keep the presidency. I don't know if we'll keep the House, but as soon as they get back in, they're going to take override
the filibuster. Yeah, they're gonna try and go with the simple majority. No doubt.
And they'll pass Supreme Court. They'll put, we'll have 30 Supreme Court justices, and
we'll have drag queens as our superintendents of schools.
Figured out because I know where I'm going, but I'm fearful for our children, drag queens in the military.
That's crazy.
I mean, Klinger, you remember a MASH, Klinger, he was.
Yeah.
If I'd been in Korea, I may have been a Klinger too. I may have been.
I'm surprised they even let masks come on anymore, because that might be right now. That's probably considered anti-LGBTQ+.
Oh my God! I mean, my daughter was raised up on Andy Griffith and the good shows that we watched, the clean stuff that we watched when we were little. My Three Sons and Fred Sanford. I've been watching some of his clips. I tell you what. That man was funny. Not antiques, but
the junkyard.
Yeah, the junk man. Gosh,
yeah, but you know what though, Red Fox. Now, Red Fox, when he was in an adult audience and he was not on TV, he could be as nasty and as filthy as anybody out there. My point is, he could be funny and clean though. He knew how to be funny. He was funny and he could be clean and funny.
All of them started out clean and funny, but then to get a bigger audience, they started pushing the envelope. And I watched some Jonathan Winters the other day. That man had the quickest, strangest mind. And Mork and Mindy,
Robin Williams and George Carlin. How about them guys?
Those guys were funny. I was in New York when I was up there spending all that money on that cheap hamburger. I saw Ronnie Dangerfield at his place up there.
He's another one that was funny.
But it's everybody's got to say foul words now to try to get a laugh, and I don't think it's very funny. So, but look, it's raining out. I got to go get these cows fed. You have a great day, buddy.
Yes, sir. You be careful. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah, Red Fox. And, unfortunately, Bill Cosby got disgraced. That's a whole nother discussion, even with the timing with him. But for years, he made his career, his comedic career being clean and funny. Dick Gregory was a political activist and a political comedian. But now, what I've noticed about the comedians, and now they've even got them on radio now, what they do, and I don't know how some of them even get away with it, is the more I insult you, the funnier I am. They've made it personal. The old comedians, every once in a while, somebody and they would get on somebody in the audience if that person attacked them. But 99% of the comedy that the original comedians performed, they didn't have to zero in on a person in the audience to make you laugh. They were naturally intelligent. But that's the discussion for another day.
$1.49 a pound. That's what you pay this week for pork chops in the family pack at Dave's Market in Valley Grande. Getting ready for Thanksgiving early? You can't beat $1.29 a pound on a big old turkey breast. And check this out. 2 8-pound bags of russet potatoes for $5. That's why we tell you, shop and save when you shop with Dave. Dave's Market, Highway 22, Valley Grant.
Saturday, don't miss Auburn football against Vanderbilt.
Green drops the throw, gets the pressure. Down he goes at the 35-yard line. Auburn rushes 3. Green throws and picked off. And picked off by Pleasant. He's the 30, 25, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Rayshon Pleasant.
Live coverage begins with the Tiger Tailgate Show at noon, only on the Auburn Sports Network.
Gray's Furniture on Broad and Selma sells appliances. Come check out the great buys on good quality GE and Hot Point appliances on the floor inside Gray's. They sell, deliver, install, and will haul away your old one. And Gray's on Broad simply has gorgeous furniture for every room in your home. Mattresses by Sealy, Ashley, and Capital. Financing is available. Open 9:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, 10 to 3 Saturdays. Gray's on Broad in the same location for over 60 years. Furniture so nice to come home to.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
There are only 4 seasons, and flu season does not have to be one of them. At the Selma Doctors Clinic, we are here to help keep you safe during this flu season. We're offering flu shots daily from 8 to 9 each morning and 1 to 2 each afternoon. Call us today at 874-9064 to make an appointment for that annual flu shot. Selma Doctors Clinic is located at 509 Parkman Avenue in the beautiful historical district in Selma. We have Dr. Park Chittum Sr., Dr. Park Chittum II, Dr. Daniel Clower, and our nurse practitioner, Mary Elizabeth Schweitzer. Call us today at 874-9064 to schedule an appointment for your flu shot, and remember that walk-ins are always welcome. We are the Selma Doctors Clinic, where we are always here for you.
Hey, who comes to mind when you think of septic systems and field lines? It ought to be Puddin' Smith at Black Belt.
The problem with your septic tank or field lines is all they do. 334-518-9876 for home Puddin' at Black Belt Sewer.
1490 WHBB. I was sitting here thinking about some of the political dynamics that I've seen the last several years. And one of the, I laugh, but it's really not funny because, trying to make the point of the importance of being intelligent and being strategic in our thinking and knowing when, choosing our battles. Case in point. When Mr. Bloomberg, when he was running for the presidential nomination, I think, for the Democratic Party, he came here, the billionaire, Mr. Bloomberg. And when he got to Brown Chapel, somehow there was a group of folks, 2 or 3, I guess there was supposed to be protesters as he spoke that were disrespectful, and they turned their back on him. And I've forgotten all the other things that were said about Mr. Bloomberg. And so they put a bad taste in his mouth, I'm sure, Well, Mr. Bloomberg just donated $26 million to the high school being built in Demopolis. that 20, we could have got at least 10 million, and that could have been in Selma. We had the man sitting in Brown Chapel, but we disrespected him. And why? Anyway. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Good morning, man.
Yes, sir. How are you this morning? Doing fine. What's happening? What's on your mind?
I get to thinking about it every day. How big Selma would be if Great Field was still open.
Oh, wow. Yeah. We could, anything could happen, but I hear what you're saying. Yes, sir. Craig Field was certainly the beginning of our demise in terms of population and the economy.
Yeah, but it had a throat cut by a Democrat politician.
Well, the school, there's a school of thought that said the reason why they did that was because Selma delivered the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and that was it. It's thanks for empowering people, regardless of whatever their race was or ethnicity. The thanks for Selma was to take Craig Air Force Base and hope for its destruction. That's one school of thought. Doesn't mean it's true.
All it took was just one politician to turn the whole dang on city bag down the toilet. And for what? A kickback in budget. For Redstone Arsenal to build up and for Selma to shrink down to nothing and go down the toilet.
Well, people don't want to hear that, though. They don't want to hear you make sense and give a common sense argument, because it doesn't support the narrative that they're buying into, and they're certainly going to be in denial and don't want to believe that they don't want anybody to think and believe that they are being deceived.
Yeah, I think all Democrat politicians want to be slave drivers, and the Democratic voters want to be slaves. I had one out of here that told me yesterday. I opened the door for it, but here before going to the damn store. I let him go in first. He says, about time I feel like man, I do something right, okay? Like I ain't never done anything done before. Didn't even say thank you.
No manners, huh?
No. Well, I'm going to get him behind me right here, and I'm going to head by hell, and the day I'll go up by here and ask him. I look at the day I'll think shut in the face. Then she want to curse me out.
Wow.
Yeah. Slave drivers are hard to slaves. Yeah. That's what the Democratic Party do. And this ain't going to joke about hiccup in New York City now. I heard a lot of folks, a lot of businesses out here is closing down and moving to Florida. I mean, I know Florida ain't that dang big. Florida ain't near as big as New York is. But I mean, what the hell are you going to do? What the hell are you going to set up shop back out there and all keeping up your swamp? You better start by getting used to have certain crawdads and tadpoles and stuff. Well, they ain't whole lot, they ain't going to follow land out there. And when a hurricane comes through, everybody.
And that's the problem. The problem is going to be, when them hurricanes. I tell you, it's a scary thought, because when I lived in Florida, I remember one year there was a hurricane in the Atlantic Ocean that was as long as the state of Florida. It was that long. It was that huge. All it had to do was make a left turn, and that would have been it. So, and I used to call, because I lived in Florida for over 10 years, and I would call Miami and South Florida down north, because a lot of people from New York and Canada, spend a lot of time in Southern Florida, and then Northern Florida, I would call up south, because Tallahassee and Pensacola and Northern Florida was, rooted in Southern culture. It's night and day. So you're right. This is gonna be really this is gonna be something.
Yeah, I mean, the people the team that was running, one wasn't no good. He was governor, and he wasn't worth a damn. And the other guy, because it ain't gonna communist socialist, and like you said, people don't know their history. Then everybody was a socialist. Look what he did. I mean, he just brought Germany back here up to standards. But look what he done. Look how he done it. On the blood, by heck and the death, by heck up millions.
Yeah, they've killed millions. From what I understand, those a lot of the socialist and communist leaders have the blood of millions of people on their hands. That's how they maintain control. And that's what we're saying we want to lead us. That's what some of us are saying. Yeah, well, bring it on. You know, I don't care how many people we have to kill in order for me to eat for free. But don't they know it's not free? Do we know that?
Something ain't right. I'm here to tell you that.
I hear you. I'm beginning to wonder too. Something wrong somewhere. Lots of stuff going. Something wrong somewhere.
Somebody took the wrong road.
How would you? How can they in Virginia, and you can't tell me that the average person in Virginia voted for consciously an attorney general that fantasized about murdering his competition and his family and did it publicly. Somebody explain that to me.
I don't believe it can be explained. Tell you the truth about it.
The political machinery, the machinery was running a lot of these states and a lot of these cities. Whoever has the strongest machine turns the vote out. And if you really dig down deep, you'll find that they're buying the votes in one form or another.
These Democrat politicians have gotten rich, filthy rich, in 4 years. When most of us would have to buy in a lifetime and not getting near as much. All these wars that they start, do you think 100% of that money goes to the war effort? No. Not even a third. The 75% of that money goes into the thing on politicians' pockets. And everybody don't want to hear that, but they know it.
Well, we'll see. The best thing to do, I'm just trying to.
Believe anything a politician tells you because he's lying.
Well, I got some other folks trying to get through, but thank you so much for your call, and we'll talk to you the next time. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Yeah, man. Would you condemn Trump for calling this guy Mandani a communist?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Because socialism and communism, there's a hair's breadth difference between the two. Because eventually socialism leads to communism, and proof of that is China.
The thing about it is, he's calling this guy a communist, but the communism product to tens of millions of people. But you want to live with him as a communist, but he never said so.
When Mandami or whatever the guy's name is, when he talked about the means of, out of his own mouth, doing the means of production belonging to the government, that, my friend, is called communism. Get a dictionary. Yes, he did, and I saw it, man. Look, like I said, make your point. Don't ask me for my opinion. Just make your point.
And the thing is, I was talking to you the other day, and I told you Trump is taking over the communists and stuff, this, that, and all other. That is socialism. That is communism. But you don't want to admit that.
You know what? You know how ridiculous it sounds to a person that knows the difference, that's familiar with the various forms of government. It's like putting a square in a circle. You can't do it, man. You can't have no president. This government has 3 branches of government. I'm not going to say that again. You need to study some civics. Then talk to me after you've studied some civics.
You need to find out the facts of what's going on here. Percentages and stuff in these companies and stuff.
You're just as wrong as 2 left shoes. But anyway, thank you for calling. Got to go. Let's take this break. We're running out of time.
Ask for it. Look for
for the sign that says we only serve U.S. farm-raised catfish. It's one of Alabama's largest industries and generating millions for our economy. It's U.S. farm-raised catfish. Because it's farm-grown right here in Alabama and processed locally, it's guaranteed fresh, safe, healthy, and delicious. Get great recipes and find out more at uscatfish.com. And don't forget to look for a sign. When you're hungry for a great meal, ask for U.S. farm-raised catfish. uscatfish.com.
Banking the way it should be at First Copper Bank means you never have to worry about the season or the weather with online banking. It's always there and always on, 24/7, 365, even on holidays.
I'm Richard Walters, president of First Cahaba Bank, here to let you know that all of our online banking resources have been invaluable to our First Cahaba customers. Although our lobbies are open, personal and business customers have discovered how convenient and easy it has become to manage financial resources without having to come inside the bank. And all of our online services, including mobile banking app, are free. Visit firstcahaba.com to get all of the information, or feel free to call any of our locations in Selma, Troy, or Gulf Shores for any questions or information. Banking the way it should be at First Cahaba Bank means we are constantly focused on the very latest technology for customer convenience and overall satisfaction. We would love for you to join our growing community bank family. First Cahaba Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Saturday, don't miss Auburn football against Vanderbilt.
Green drops the throw, gets the pressure. Down he goes at the 35-yard line. Auburn rushes 3. Green throws and picked off. And picked off by Pleasant. He's the 30, 25, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Ray John Pleasant.
Live coverage begins with the Tiger Tailgate Show at noon, only on the Auburn Sports.
1490 WHBB, as we get ready to prepare to close this morning's program. You know, I remember, I think I had one argument with my late father, and we argued over the Constitution. Got lost arguing, going through Atlanta. I'll never forget that. I was a teenager, but my father taught me how to drive. And, when I was 16 years old, I could go through any major city with ease because of what my father had taught me. And we argued when I was in my radical stage. I was almost anti-American. And then he pointed some things out to me. He was absolutely correct. And one of the things he said, because he was a Tuskegee Airman, he would never talk about it. I didn't even know really that. Well, I knew he missed being a pilot by one point. And I knew that my second cousin was the first commander of the Tuskegee Airmen. And that he was born in Selma, But I didn't really appreciate all of that during that time. But what he said was that the major difference between Russia, China, and the United States and their form of government in terms of socialism and communism versus capitalism is that socialism and communism do not allow for the individual to grow. And that under capitalism, you can succeed or fail based upon your talent. And socialism and communism, for the most part, suppresses it. It does not allow for, it doesn't take into account incentive. You have no incentive. When everybody is relegated to just, being what the government tells them to be, unless you're if you're a loyal party member, you might rise in the party. It has the effect of stemming growth. You have no incentive to be aggressive. You have no incentive to rise above the circumstances you were born in. In this country, we can be anything we want to be if we're willing to put the time and the energy into it. You stand a shot. I was really impressed with and I'm going to play it again one day. I'm so tired of folks. I say about this, I call it ignorant, because if my ancestors had listened to somebody say they couldn't do because of the color of their skin, then I probably wouldn't be talking to you now on this radio. The women and G's Ben, the executive director for Airing of the Quilts, said this community has stayed together for 200 years. And when they told us as African Americans that we couldn't do something, we laughed and said, oh no, I refuse to promote that kind of, to promote a defeatism, victim card playing philosophy to make somebody feel good. But that's me. Thank you for listening. You have yourself a safe and enjoyable day. I'll see you Monday morning, the good Lord willing. Stay tuned for Fox News on WHBB Selma. It's 10 o'clock.
A shutdown in the skies. Gianna Delosi, Fox News. The government is reducing traffic at 40 major airports in response